Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be making a sketchbook. I've made a few videos before, but I'm a complete novice, so please bear with me. This is my first time doing a voiceover, and I tend to not know how to do things, so this is an experiment. So I'm going to just try my best. So I'm laying out right now on the video all the items that I believe that I will need to make a sketchbook. In the previous video, I tried my best to make the book, but it was a complete disaster. Like, it just did not work well. But I did learn a lot from it. It was a very good learning experience. I figured that if I watched a tutorial and I understood the tutorial, it would be very easy for me to just go ahead and do it. But I made several mistakes. The biggest one was when I was attempting to cut. There's this thing called page creep, which you can see in the video right now, which is where when you fold several pages, they don't line up at the end. So I was trying to make everything line up, and that was where I just got my butt whooped. So I was trying to use a ruler and a blade to slice through all of the I went gently, like they said in all the videos. They said to be gentle, use a soft hand and go through it, but I just kept having all these rough edges. So when I get to the part in the video where I use the staples from one of the older books to use as a guide, you will see the rough edges in the book. I hope that makes sense. So right now I'm just using these paper clips to keep the pages even, because what I want to do is when I put the staples in, all the staples need to be in the very center. But because the pages are folded and because of page creep, if I don't do it evenly, then when I put the staples in, it will not be in the center. So I'm doing my best to align all the pages on both sides, so the horizontal and the vertical sides, to make sure they're even, and I'm aligning this. What I'm also doing is using paper towels just to make sure that the paper clips don't leave a mark, because when I did the first one, so like I said, I had a lot of trial and error in the first video, in the first attempts. So if you can look in this video, in this book right now, the one that I'm using for the staple, where at some point you'll be able to see that the edges are very rough. Sometime through the video, just look through it, you will see, because I was watching this playthrough and I could see that the edges are very rough. But anyway, so when I made one of the first books, I used the paper clips, but they're very strong paper clips, which is what I wanted. Because they're so strong, when I used them on the pages, they left marks, and I didn't like that, because obviously nobody wants marks on their books. They want their books to look new, right? So I thought that if I used paper towels or something soft just to give it some like cushioning, when I used it, it would be better. Now in the previous video, what I did was that I used a needle and I was kind of hammering it in, but it took forever. Like, I was just at this forever. Like, one book would take me like half an hour, because I wasn't using a hammer. I was using like a pliers, a screwdriver. What is it called? I was using one of those things, and it just wasn't good. It was just taking so long, and I was just so frustrated. So I had an idea that why don't I use a paper clip, right? Because that's what they're meant to do. They're meant to go through things. But for the life of me, I couldn't find a single paper clip. I recently moved, and when I say recent, I mean I moved in October. It is now February, so for me that's still recent. And I had a whole bunch of paper clips. Paper clips? Is that what they're called? Not paper clips. They're called push pins. Push pins. That's the word I'm looking for. I had a whole bunch of push pins, And for the life of me, I can't find a single one of them. I've gone through everything and I couldn't find a single push pin. So it was very frustrating because I have boards, those boards you can use the push pins for. So I bought the push pins for that specific reason. So I couldn't find them for the life of me. So I had to improvise because I didn't want to go to the bookstore just to buy a thing of push pins for a single push pin, right? Especially we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, and I'm just trying my best to not go to unnecessary places. So I had to improvise, and I had the previous tenant, she was really nice. She left a whole bunch of stuff in the apartment for me, and one of the things that she had on the windowsill, I didn't want to throw it out because I thought maybe eventually she would want it. One of the things that she had was this I think you can see it on the side. I'm using it to push in I'm using it like a push pin. It's a pin. It's like a clothing pin for the Vancouver Olympics. And I was just like, okay, let's use that. The only problem was when I pushed it in one hole, I noticed that the stop gap that they have for the pin was put in a second hole in, so I had to get a pliers to put that down, but it worked. If you can see, it's very effective. So then I'm using a bone folder to push it down, because when I used I was using the same pin to push it down, I noticed that the metal was leaving marks on the paper, and it just wasn't good. It wasn't, I have this thing, I want it to look perfect. So I was pushing it down with the bone folder, and everything was working out very well. And yeah, it worked out perfectly. So now I think the book is done, and we're going to go to the next part that gave me problems. So I had so many ideas. I will probably try my best to put in some pictures of all the ideas that I had. I will take some pictures and I'll put them in right here somewhere of all the design ideas that I had for the books, because I'm doing 3 different types of books. I'm doing a sketchbook, a dot grid journal, and a planner. And for the life of me, none of them was satisfying me, because I wanted it to look a certain way. I want it to look, even if it's homemade or handmade, I want it to look professional. I want it to look like something that you would be proud to still bring out, like something that looks good. Right now, for me, it's not perfect, and I'm okay with that because this is the best I can do with what I have. For example, the page script is still there, but I can't remove it. I can't do anything about the page script. Eventually, I guess hopefully if I can sell a whole bunch of the books, then I'll get a guillotine, and I can cut it, then I can round the corners, and then it will look good. But for now, it will have to be what it is. But I came up with a whole bunch of designs, and they were okay, but they did not make me feel like, yes, this is the one that I wanted. I was thinking maybe my end game is that eventually I will design covers, but again, with the pandemic, it's really difficult to go out and get everything is closed so early, and it's just very difficult to get things done right now. So right now, because I have some cardstock, they're colored cardstock, they're like gray and brown and black, I'm just using them like this, just blank, and I'm using this design the way I did it. I think this looks good for now. As a first attempt, I think it looks professional. Well, for what it is, I think it looks pretty good for now. So this is the design I ended up choosing with everything that I attempted. I will still sell the others as maybe seconds, even though they're pretty good. I just didn't like the look of them, so I will sell them maybe as less of whatever the price this one is, maybe like $1 or $2 less of whatever I'm going to sell this one for. So they will be available, but this is what I like. For now, I think this one looks good. So in the meantime, I'm going to be designing all the other ones to look like this. So I'm pleased with that. So thank you so much for watching. This was me learning how to make a sketchbook. I hope you found the value in this, and I hope that I will see you in the next video. If you like this, please take some time to subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, thank you so much. Bye.